Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legacy Leaders. This is Scott McMeans. I am super excited to have Gauri Wagle from Zipfruit with us today. Amazing story, great background. A lot of interesting stories are going to come out of this today because I had a chance to talk to Gauri before, and what a great story she has. So, before we get into that, I'm going to turn the microphone and the camera over to her and allow her to introduce herself, tell us a little bit about what Zipfruit is all about, and then we're just going to go from there. So, Gauri, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hey, Scott. Hello, everybody. Scott, thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate for you having me here, but at the same time, thank you for creating this community. I think it's so important for somebody to tell the story of the entrepreneurs and the brands they create. So I really appreciate it and thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Um, yeah. So talking a little bit about, Zipfruit is it's clean product. It's a nutrients dense products. It's, I would say, superfoods that maybe you haven't heard about, but something that is truly nourishes your body in the right way. Those are incredibly powerful but underrepresented superfoods, which I grew up eating. A lot of people around me grew up eating, and I wanted to bring it to the global market. And so, as we talk more, I would love to talk about what products I have and, how they can benefit your body. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Oh, we're going to get into a lot of questions. So, Gauri, I wanted to give you the chance to kind of tell us your story. How did you get from where you started in this business? But before that, how did you even decide to go down this pathway to start Zipfruit? Because it's not necessarily, from what I remember, a traditional way to get there. It's just something that you found a very strong passion for. And I want the audience to get a sense of why you did what you did, because one of the most important things a business owner can relay to their audience is their why. Why did you do this? And I think people really resonate with that. So let's start with that. Like, what's the why behind starting Zipfruit?
Sure. Scott, the why for me is I'm really passionate about eating clean. I love home cooked food. Food speaks to me. I feel food is something that has always culturally, connected me with different people. I love getting to know different food, different cultures. So that's food has always been my passion. I'm a foodie at heart, but at the same time, I believe that food should be something that nourishes your body. And I've never believed in any trends, any diets. So if you truly want to be healthy, you need to have a sustainable lifestyle. Like if you have small habits, that makes a big change. If you want to have, crash diets, that's one time. It's not sustainable. It's not going to stay with you forever. But if I add small habits to my daily routine, it could be a 15 minutes walk, it could be eating a plate of salad with your food. That adds up to the big change. So when I'm talking about that, I wanted to create a product which could help you to make those big change, adding up to the small habits. And again, my why was when I was doing the research for the market, I felt like there was a gap between the food that we currently get in the grocery stores. When they say healthy, it's full of additives, it's full of the things I can't even pronounce, forget about knowing what it meant. So so food for me, Scott, is simple. It needs to be simple. It could be a piece of fruit. That's what I grew up eating if I wanted a piece of snack. But
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, we complicate it too much. We add too many things, which is, if it's not good for me, it's not going to be good for my kids. So, how can it be good for somebody else? So, creating a market which was transparent, creating a product which was just absolutely a fruit zipped in a bag. That was the concept. So before we even launched its brand, I did a program from affiliated with Harvard to understand more food science, understand how food can truly make your body blossom? How can food be mindful? Because when I talk about food, or any food for that matter, it should connect your mind, your body. It needs to be in sync, and you should enjoy it. It should be an experience. So we wanted to create something based on that. So a lot of research went into the foods we are right now selling, or we have it in the market. When I say research, it we wanted it to be not just, we know those are superfood, but we also wanted to make sure how we could retain the properties, the mineral, the vitamins, the fiber in the food in the same way. So we did lot of research. We took our time. We were in no rush, because I felt like this was something, as you said, my passion. I wanted
Mhm.
to, if I'm talking home cooked food or food to somebody, it's the same thing. It's my baby, and I wanted it to be, truly
So
benefited
good.
for you. And that's
That's
how
so
it
good.
started.
No, it's so good because you have a passion for this, and you've kind of created your own knowledge niche, right? Where you understand.
Sure.
The one comment that you made is, I want your mind and your body to be in sync so you can enjoy your food. And food
Exactly.
is so much more than just fuel. It should be something that feeds your soul and feeds your mind so you're doing better with yourself. And I appreciate everything you're bringing up as far as why you did this.
Sure.
As we go into the business proposition or the value that you have at ZipFruits, what is it that you have that nobody else has that allows you to stand out as something that they can't get from somebody else?
Um, so if I'm getting your question right, like, are you asking me what's my unique point with the zip fruit?
Yeah, what is it that makes you so special? Like, I buy Zip Fruit because I won't get this with anybody else. What is it that you bring to the table that's so unique and so different?
So, Scott, I think one of the most unique points with Zipfruit is, as I said, we have the most underrepresented but most powerful superfoods. So we have something which is, it's a tropical Mesoamerican fruit called sapota. Some people call it sapodilla. Some people call it chiku. It's a caramel tasting, the most powerful superfood you can find. It's really high in fiber. It has antioxidant. It has vitamin C. It has magnesium, potassium. So it's full of minerals. It's full of vitamins. Like, but just a fun fact, but during the Mayan civilization, it was called a sacred fruit. Right from a seed to the bark, it had some healing value. So it is a very special, powerful superfood, but most underrepresented. So you might not find the fruit in the market at all. It's similar to dates. So you have dates, which
Mhm.
is getting popularity, but it's, when I say dates, it's similar or more fiber in it, but almost 50% less sugar. So we are the only company which has the sapota right now. We have sapota powder, which I use, or I love using as a natural sugar substitute. And then, Scott, like, I'm a plant-based, I'm vegetarian, and I have a lot of friends who are vegan, and I feel like it's a big challenge when it comes to having a sweetener. I'm not a big fan of artificial sweetener. It could be monk fruit or anything. It leaves an aftertaste for me. But
Mhm.
if you are vegan, a lot of them don't even use honey. It's not part of vegan. So you can actually use the sapota powder as a natural sweetener. You could use it in your puddings. You could use it in your baking powder. So I feel like we solved that problem in a very unique way, where it's naturally sweet, but at the same time, it nourishes your body. And to talk about, as I said, like, we are, probably, because it's a very underrepresented superfood, we are the only one who are doing it right now. So
Interesting. Now, if I remember right from our previous conversation, you actually source your Saputo from where?
So I source it from India,
Okay.
Scott, and I have a manufacturing plant there. And Scott, I have been a big fan of farm to table. I believe that, one of the reasons when I did this, I wanted to make sure I would manage the manufacturing and the sourcing as well, because for me, quality is the most important thing. And when I if I can do it farm to table, I'm able to control the every process in every step. At the same time, I think with the social impact, I wanted to make sure I make a difference with the farmers I work with. So right now we have manufacturing in India, but as we find more superfoods, I want to make sure I create a network of my suppliers, and those are the farmers, and they get the fair pricing as well, because it's their sweat and money that goes into it, and I want to make sure they get paid for it. As we are growing, or as the fruit is getting popular, I want to make sure they get paid for their fair things. So yeah, we have a manufacturing plant up there, where we manufacture it, and I get it here, and then I distribute it with my retailers and other e-commerce platforms.
That's it's something different, right? When people think farm to table, they're not
Mhm.
thinking of a farm as in India. It has to transfer all the way to the United States. But you are, in fact, controlling that process, so your quality is at the highest it could be. Your partnerships are solid because everybody is getting represented effectively across the spectrum from farmer all the way to distribution. So when you're working in a farm to table environment, it's not what people typically think of, but it is exactly what a farm to table methodology is bringing it
Mhm.
right from the source into your consumer. And that's something that I
Yeah,
think is very profound, because most people want the purest form of whatever food they're going to have. Now, granted,
absolutely.
you're using Zaputa powder, correct? So you're able to take it from India and here and not lose any of the quality of the product or the
Yeah,
food, because it's not going to de-ripen from the time it leaves India to the time it
yeah.
gets here. So the secret sauce, if I could say this, is the Saputa, and you used it in powder form. So that's how you're able to get it in the United States without any compromise. Am I correct?
Yes, that's absolutely
Okay,
correct,
perfect.
Scott. And I have like and one of the reasons like we wouldn't get the fruits here is Scott, like sapota, and this part of the world we have never seen sapota, is because it's very perishable fruit in nature. Like even before it would go to the market, almost 40-50% goes bad. So that we actually solve the food waste with that, because we have the chambers where we would let it, after we would process it, clean it, we would let it ripe, and then we would process it, so
Sure.
that so we could retain the nutritional value of the fruit. I have a partner back in India, and she manages everything. So having somebody to work with, as I said, quality, we are able to maintain the quality. We have trained tribal women. We hired them so that we could train them to do the processes, and then we get the fruit slices and the fruit powder.
Love the. It's an interesting approach to bringing a solid, as you said, superfood from its
Mhm.
source to the people that are going to eat it or consume it.
Yeah.
As you've built this business, Gary, I'm sure not everything has been the smoothest of roads. So, what is one of the bigger challenges that you faced that the audience could kind of pick from and say, "Yep, I'm experiencing that as well," or "I can learn from you right now." So, what is it that's been one of the bigger challenges you faced?
Scott, I think one of the biggest challenges was, as I said, it's a underrepresented superfood. Like so when I launched it, everybody I would talk to, nobody knew about it. It's a new fruit because you didn't grow up eating it. It's like probably 10 years back avocado, where nobody knew about it, or quinoa, where nobody knew about it, right? So a lot of education, a lot of talking to people, a lot of doing demos, farmers market, pop-up markets, went into it. And I think along with being a representative of the brand, I truly love educating people. I
Yeah,
truly love telling them how they can use it, why they can use it, and how they can be more mindful of all the food that I offer, how they can be mindful in their life. So I think it comes very naturally, and I love doing that. So it, as I said, like education was the biggest part of launching this brand,
mhm.
and it's an ongoing process, where I feel like I get to connect with my customers. It could be business to business or business to customers, but I love doing that. It's an ongoing process. And that was one of the challenge, I think, just educating people. I have been in business for about a year now, and I can see people know about it. People talk about it.
Yeah.
People post about it. So I think, that was one of the challenge that I faced as somebody who was new or, bringing in something that was completely new to the market.
Yeah, you bring up an excellent point as far as one of the challenges that anybody would face. I think all businesses, when they start out, live in this world of obscurity. And what I mean by that is nobody knows who you are or what you provide as a value
Mhm.
or service. So education is one of the most pivotal things we can do as business owners to bring the market more awareness about what we do, why we do it, and how we do things, the value of our products. So education and really promoting yourself is the first thing you really need to do to get people aware of, okay, this product is on the market and why it's here, what it
Sure.
does. Okay, we have to educate. And once you educate, you have to keep telling them how good you are. You have to keep showing them different value propositions, keep showing them what you bring to the table and why you do it. So the education part is a big piece for you. And I really appreciate you bringing it up because I think a lot of people could kind of not jump a step, but really pay attention to this step of coming from obscurity to awareness is all about your ability to educate your market as far as you're here. And now that they
Absolutely.
know you're here, they have to know why you're here. And once they know why you're here, okay, what exactly do you do that I want to be a part of? So there's a very systematic approach to bringing that message to the market, but it can't be done overnight. And I think that's one of the things you said. You've been in business for a year or so now, and now it's just people are starting to figure out how good Zabuda is. They're just
Hmm.
now getting their hands around the idea of, okay, this is different. This isn't
Yeah.
what I'm used to. And what I want to bring up now is, all right, what different products do you have available, and how does your product portfolio look with respect to what a target audience would want? So, what are your product offerings, so we can kind of get an understanding of what Zipfruit is all about?
Scott, right now I have three products. So one is Sapota. With Sapota, I have Sapota fruit powder and Sapota fruit slices. And I just launched early this year a product called Jamun or Black Plum. It's a Indian blackberry. It's fruit roll. So it's like I call it like fruit roll-ups for adults. Kids can eat it too. So we are working right now on mango. So we are working on mango fruit rolls. And when I say mango, we have so many products with mango in the market. But again, what bothers me is the refined sugar in it. It's full of like sugar, which doesn't, it defeats the purpose of having this amazing sweet fruit, with full of sugar or additives in it. So the fruit rolls that we are working on, again, it would be without a preservative, no added sugar. But right now we have three products selling ongoing. So it's Sapota fruit powder, Sapota fruit slices, and Jamun fruit rolls.
Okay, so how do we get in touch with you to get those on your website, and where else can we find them?
So on the website, yes, you can find information on that. I'm not selling on the website yet, but I am in Ohio. You can find me in Heinens. I am in Fairfax, Myers. I'll be also doing the North Union Farmers Market from actually this weekend. But I'm also on Amazon. So you can find me on Amazon. I'm on Fair. And then I'm adding more e-commerce platform to my portfolio. But if you need to get in touch with me, you can follow my Instagram account at ZipFruits. On my website, there is a contact form. Please reach out to me if you haven't already subscribed to the newsletter. That's the best way to know about the new products that we launch. I also send out the recipes or, with the products, but at the same time, some fun recipes, there's some clean recipes.
Love
I'm
that.
working on the newsletters. So please, if you haven't, sign up for that and be in touch. A lot of fun things are coming up and it would truly nourish your body. You would be blown away with the kind of products we are designing. As I said, like, we wanted to design a product, Scott, where if it's you, your kids, your grandkids, whoever wants to eat it, it's a clean product. It is
Yeah.
something that is truly designed to think without thinking, because I feel when it comes to food, it should, nourish your body at the same time your taste buds. So it should give, because, that's like eating a piece of cake. You eat it because it makes you feel good. So that's the idea, that the food is healthy, but at the same time, it's gonna give you fun with your taste buds, where there are so many different flavors to
Love
it.
that.
It's more ethnic flavors, and you are gonna love it.
Absolutely love it. Everything you're telling me is like, all right, now I got to go get some, which is great. I hope the audience feels the same way. So this has been really good. I want to ask you, what is the one lesson you think a business owner should know now that you've been in business for a year? Like, what is the one thing you would tell somebody that is the lesson you should learn?
I think, Scott, the most important, I have two lessons for you.
Okay.
One, as a business owner, I think, don't give up. Like, things might not happen the first day you start, but keep on hustling. Things are going to happen. So keep going is something you need to understand. Keep on doing it. It's not always going to be, flowery things. It's not going to be, I think as an entrepreneur, a lot of people think it's always the high level things, but no, you do. When you start small, you do packaging, you go stand there for demos, you have to put in hours of work, but it's fun. So don't give up, like, keep on hustling. But at the same time, Scott, I feel like what mattered, or what was the most important thing for me, was creating a community, having my own community of entrepreneurs. So I'm a part of a community in Ohio. It's called Wonder Women of Food. It's amazing women entrepreneurs. We started with 20, and now we have almost 60 women in there. We do, and it's amazing, Scott. Like, I think you spoke to Nina a couple of weeks back, and she's part of Wonder Women, and
Yeah.
it's amazing how we support each other. It's not competing against each other, but uplifting. It's about creating events, opportunity, collaborating. And I think it's so important having that community. So I think, as a business owner, if you're thinking about starting any business, don't wait for it. Start it, but at the same time, find a community you can talk to. You can find, a sounding board, somebody to mentor you, or just to go and find resources. So those are were the two important things for me as an entrepreneur when I started. And I'm the first generation entrepreneur. So, there were a lot of things, a lot of, I think, questions when I was doing it, doubts, but I love it. I think, I don't think I would have done it any other way.
Well, you can tell you love it, right? There's a definite passion that comes through and an excitement when you start talking about things because I can see it in your face and your eyes, you light up big. So this is clearly a passion of yours. And I don't want you to ever lose that passion because that is part of the hustle. That's part of keep going. But I love the idea of what you said about bringing people into a community and allowing them to help you. You talked about Nina, which is great. They have a really cool product, but it doesn't take away from your product, and your product doesn't
Yeah.
take away from them. And what you realize
Yeah.
is this small segment of food is so abundant and there's so much opportunity. It seems shameful for one person to think they can win by putting another person down. And what I really love about your thought process with this community is there's so much opportunity for all of us. If we help each other, we can all be unbelievably successful entrepreneurs. And we can have a business that runs this amazing way because we've allowed it to happen in a community that accepts us, as opposed to beating each other up all the time. So that's one message that I'm really happy we talked about today is this mindset of abundance, right?
Hmm.
There's so much
Absolutely.
opportunity and there's so much that we can provide. I think that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
This has been great, Gauri. I really appreciate you being here. I have one final question for you. If I were to put you into a time machine and have you sit down on a park bench next to 18-year-old Gauri, what would you tell an 18-year-old self?
I think I would say you'll be okay. So take a risk,
Mhm.
keep going.
Love that. And you'll be okay. Take a risk. Keep
and keep
going.
going. Yeah,
Okay.
keep hustling.
Okay. Now, if you remember, I told you I was going to ask you a final question, right? And I wanted that reaction out of you. Your reaction is very similar to everybody else's reaction. It's very, you can see the wheels turning, you can see the introspection happening, and you say, it's going to be okay. Keep going. Don't worry about it,
Hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
Very similar to what most people on the show have said. Just keep going, follow your passion, find something that really gets you going, and just pursue it, go after it. So I appreciate you being honest about yourself and what you have. I'm excited for you in ZipFruit because I think this is something that has a real chance to explode over the next couple of years when people do get that awareness and education about Saputo. They do get that understanding of you can nourish your mind, your body, and your taste buds, which is something you said I really like.
Absolutely.
So thank you for being here. Any final thoughts for the audience?
No, I mean, as I said, like if you want to know more about Zipfruit, please follow me on Instagram. Reach out to me if you have any, ideas with collaboration. I'm always open for that. I love doing an educational seminar, talking about, what I do, what I not do, pop-ups. So just reach out to me and support the business by buying it and leaving me a review. I would love
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem. All the
that.
information necessary to get in touch with you, whether it's Instagram, website, email, LinkedIn, it'll all be on the description down below. So people will be, in fact, able to get in touch with you. And I encourage you to take a look at this and give it a try because you'll probably like it. Thanks so much,
Yes.
Gauri. We appreciate you being on the
Thank you.
program.
Thank you, Scott.